As is the way with any new Ferrari, the latest and greatest model to be launched has to be quantifiably better. More powerful, faster, lighter and with better aero. And so it is with this, the F8 Tributo.
The F8 Tributo is Ferrari's latest half step, shall we say, in its line of mid-engine Berlinetta models. And as with any new Ferrari, there's plenty of news here. One of the big points is that 3.9 litre twin-turbo V8 now makes 49 bhp more than it did in its predecessor, the 488 GTB, for a grand total of 710 brake horsepower. And the engine is now clothed in a lightweight Lexan cover. That's more than a referential nod to one of Ferrari's most famous models, the F40, hence the name. That engine cover also has a purpose though, because it helps contribute to a 40 kilogram weight saving over the 488. So the curb weight is down to 1435 kilos here. The shape is recognisably Ferrari too, with its low nose and its rakish rear end, and the form has been tweaked compared to the 488 to make it 10% more aerodynamically efficient. The F8 makes more downforce with no drag penalty, so it's very efficient the way it carves through the air.
The redesign has ushered in a new front end for Ferrari, with sharper headlights that now incorporate some extra brake cooling ducts, as well as the Tributo adopting the F1 inspired and downforce enhancing S-duct. At the back, along with that engine cover, there are now 4 taillights, a reference to cars of the past like the 355, and an even bigger diffuser. In fact, the only carryover parts from the 488 are the doors and the roof.
The thing you notice most though is that engine. Ferrari's employed its clever torque management strategy here, so you don't actually get the full 770 Newton meter hit until you're in top gear. The torque ramps up in every gear up to 7th to give a kind of progressive feel to the acceleration, and almost like the engine's more naturally aspirated. Of course it isn't, and those turbos are ever present, not least because of the hiss of boost overlaid you get from the engine bay. They do hurt the sound a little bit, but we've known that for a while now with Ferrari's mid-engine V8 cars. And actually Ferrari's done quite a bit here to try and improve the sound, the tone and the quality. There's a new lightweight Inconel exhaust system and something called the hot tube resonator. Now what that does is it pipes in frequencies from the exhaust to the cabin. There's no amplification through the speakers, so this is all natural here. And it actually does boost the signature of that V8. Of course, what those turbos do bring is massive flexibility. The car pulls very hard from low down and revs so aggressively. And with all that torque, it lets you exploit the F8's natural balance.
As with pretty much every modern Ferrari, the key to its brilliance is the integration of all the different electronic systems. Ferrari's gone yet another step with its side slip control 6.1, which also boasts the new Dynamic Enhancer Plus system. What that means is that while the EDIF F1 track system, the suspension dampers and the engine's output are all continuously monitored and adjusted, the Dynamic Enhancer works on each brake caliper individually to effectively control how much slide you get. The plus part means it's now active in race mode too for maximum performance, not just CT off, and it's extremely good.
It means you can throw this 710 brake horsepower supercar around like it's a little MX-5, just sliding on the way out of corners. And thanks to that electronic safety net, it makes it really fun, because let's face it, not everybody has got the talent of a racing driver. So for these systems to unlock the ability and let you explore them at maybe slightly lower level is a real talent, and that's where the thrill of driving the F8 Tributo comes from.
Those raw performance numbers are typically impressive. All that power and torque plus launch control means it'll go from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.9 seconds and 0 to 124 miles an hour in just 7.8 seconds. And it'll hit 211 miles per hour flat out.
It's not always easy to experience the full ferocity of the F8 Tributo on the road, it's that fast. But thankfully, this is a fast car that's also easy to drive slow. The 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox is brilliant in manual mode. It slices up through the ratios really quickly and blips down very aggressively. But if you put it in automatic mode, it's happy to just bimble about all day long. And part of the comfort and usability also comes from the car's bumpy road mode. Now, if you select this with the dampers, the whole chassis just slackens off that little bit more. So on bumpy tarmac like the road we're on here, it just adds that little bit of comfort and more compliance to make this a more usable car.
It's not all perfect though. The interior has been tweaked, but the basic concept of the cabin stretches back to the 458, which means it's now looking a little bit old. It's a bit confused, and there are simpler solutions to the way the infotainment and controls for the screens work. The bar is set so high by the chassis that the steering itself is also not the F8's greatest attribute. It's quick and a nice weight, but it's not the most communicative, so it's a little bit like the messages relayed back from the road to the steering wheel are being filtered, and it means you're not always fully clued up as to quite how much grip there is. Invariably though, it's a massive amount, and you never lack confidence in the F8 despite its huge performance.
So, while it unquestionably does the numbers, and the car is more capable than any mid-engine series production Ferrari ever, there is something about the F8 Tributo that feels like it could be, well, just a little bit more.
The F8 is a fitting tribute to the most successful Ferrari engine in history, but it still feels like a very thorough evolution of the 488 GTB with some pista know-how thrown into the mix too. But maybe not quite as much as we were expecting. It's incredibly good, make no mistake, but like with many manufacturers at the moment, it feels like we're waiting for the hybrid era, and if this F8 Tributo is anything to go by, then Ferrari's future has got us salivating. Click the video window on the left to watch a first drive of the Ferrari 488 Pista, the car that gave lots of its tech to the F8 Tributo, or click on the video on the right to watch a video of the Lamborghini Urus Super SUV. Don't forget to click on the Auto Express logo to subscribe too, and click the bell icon to turn on notifications for when a new video is uploaded to the channel.